Hello everybody, welcome to the It's Addy official channel. Today we're going to be going over the rules, tips, and tricks for the upcoming, might already be happening as you're watching this, glitchless competition for Shipwrecked 64. Let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, we've got to set some rules here. You must follow all of the Speedrun.com rules for this category. That's glitchless, skipless, no major glitches. So if you go to Speedrun.com, you can find all of the rules. We're going to try to mention all of the rules here, but in case you don't see anything that you might be a little concerned about, go to Speedrun.com and you can figure it out that way. You can play on the current patch or the down patch. If you don't know what the down patch is, we'll get into it later in this video. But essentially, the patch before the current version of this April Fool's update that implements Duncan the Dolphin, it increases the spawn rate a lot for the dwellers inside of the plaza. So it's recommended that you run on down patch, but you can run on current patch if you want to, or you don't want to go through the effort of trying to use the down patch. Only the times that were completed during this competition period are eligible for prizes. So that's going to be from right now until 11:59 EST on Sunday, the 16th of February, 2025. So if you submit anytime after this, it's not going to be allowed. And if you have any previous times that you've already done, that is not going to be allowed. So you can still submit them. I wouldn't recommend it because then you're not going to be eligible for prizes at all. You must submit video evidence of your run as well to be eligible for prizes. So if you don't upload your run anywhere and you just have a timer of it, there's not really any proof that you did this run. Now also, there are going to be some banned glitches and skips like I was talking about earlier. You cannot use Duncan the Dolphin. That's a completely separate category. The goal of this category is to try a complete true ending as close to the intent of the original developer as fast as possible. That also means that you can't skip Husk. So in the original down patch of the game, there was a developer code left in that you can use to skip Husk instead of going through all of the RNG to go through Husk. You can't do that in this version. You also can't skip the original tutorial at the beginning. That would be by respawning right when you get control of the character for the first time to skip that little tutorial. That's also banned here. You can't do any out-of-bounds movement at all. It kind of just defeats the purpose of glitchless, skipless, or no major glitches as we're calling it now. You just can't do any out-of-bounds movement, and you also can't skip any sections of Layer 3. Early on, there was a glitch where you could complete all of section twice just by saving inside of that area and then respawning after you complete all of this area once. We do not allow that. You have to complete 2 out of the 3 sections of Layer 3 as intended by the developers. Now, gamers, I know you're asking, what is this down patch that you're talking about? Well, simply, there was a April Fool's update that kind of reverted the game back to a previous state where the dweller spawned way too quickly in Layer 3, and it's just not good for our speedrun. So I'm going to show you how you can downpatch here. So there's going to be a guide here in the description that's written by one of our moderators, Mushy Meow, that's going to show you how to do it, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to show you how to do it real quick. So we're going to open up Windows R, and it'll pop up this run dialog box. If you're on Linux or anything else, I mean, you're on Linux, you can figure this out. You know, you already are used to figuring everything out on your own. So you go to Steam, so this is what you're going to type in. You're going to go Steam open/console, and what that is going to do is it is going to make a console pop-up in Steam right here. And you're just going to paste in this command here. Download depot. This is the ID. This is the patch number. And then this is the manifest ID. And what this is going to do is this is going to download the specific down patch of the game that we need in order to run Shipwrecked 64. So I'm going to let this download. This may take a few minutes here, and then I'm going to show you what you need to do here to get this to finish. So once the download is finished here, you'll see that it says finished. it'll say it went to this folder right here. So if we pull up the Steam folder here, we go to Content, we go to App, Depot, you can see here that this is Shipwrecked 64, the down patch version. So obviously we can open this from here and we can play it just fine. But what if you have a non-Xbox controller that you want to use? Well, simply, we can just add this as a non-Steam game. So what we're going to do here is we're just click our library, you click Add Game, add a non-Steam game, wait for it to load. You know, it's got its thing. We're going to click Browse. And then we've got this whole section here. So we're just going to go back to our program datas. We're going to go Steam, Steam Apps, Content, App, Depot, SW64. Click Add Selected Program. And now there should be a SW64 program right here. Now we can hit the settings here and we can change the name of it so that way it is Shipwrecked Down Patch. And that'll work just fine. You can change the controller mappings here. Usually you just need to enable Steam input here so that way it'll be loading up and everything like that. You can also use a controller configurator here to change your controller settings, right? So if I got my DualSense connected here, we can click Edit Layout, and we can change, like, say, this X button here. We can change that to the keyboard E key, so that way we can match their text faster. But you cannot do the controller combo to match their text and the keyboard one. You have to pick one or the other. So yeah, that's going to be how to down patch the game. Now let's show you some glitches that you can do. I've come to the pool here to show you a few glitches and tricks that we can do. So if we decide we want to try and skip this area by going up to the top, which I can't seem to do, this is allowed. What is also allowed is this thing called wall bouncing. So what you do is you're holding down sprint. So you jump twice, and then you press into the wall and bounce off it, just like this. So you go jump, jump, run into the wall, jump. So you're basically trying to jump off the wall at the same time that you're doing a triple jump, and you get massive height. You can also do this thing that we call wall climbing. Wall climbing is you line yourself up really close to the wall, but not close enough to where you are sliding up against it. You need to face directly forward, you jump twice, then you hold forward a little bit, and then you hold forward, and then after about half a second of holding forward, you spam the jump button, and you will go really high. This isn't useful anywhere in the current category, but I'm just letting you know that it is allowed. So these are some of the movement options that are allowed for the glitchless, skipless, or no major glitches. So now let's go into an example of some things that aren't allowed. Now, once we're down to layer 3, there's going to be some things that are in the other categories that are simply not allowed in glitchless, skipless. So for this category, you have to go through this door. Once you get into layer 3, go through here, go up here, and then you need to complete 2 of the 3 rooms in order to unlock this gate that takes you over to the plaza. Now, in the other categories, there is a out of bounds section up above this wall here that will allow you to skip straight to it. So if I can get my way up there, and I will show you what I mean by this. You can see that there's this little section that's up out of bounds here. This is not allowed, because if we go all the way over here, you'll see that, look, the plaza door is right there. If we jump off and we hit this door, we've skipped all the way to plaza without having to do any of the layer 3 stuff. This is not allowed and will result in your run being disqualified. Another trick that you can't perform here is plaza skip. So there's this keypad on this side of the wall here that can help us clip out of bounds. So just for demonstration purposes, you can see we're out of bounds here. And this wall, we can scale all the way up using the glitch that I showed you at the beginning of this video, where you scale all the way up, and as you can see, we get on top of the roof. You go all the way over to the other side of the building, and you can access the door to skip all of plaza. This is not allowed in this category. Let's bring up the last glitch that you are not allowed to use in this category. We are at Husk now. As you can see, there's Husk right there, but in the downpatch version of this game, we can skip it by simply hitting 1 and 0 on the keyboard, and then it just fades out, and it finishes the category for us. It finishes the whole section. This is not allowed in this category. And finally, one more thing to mention, guys. You do need to update your live split. So if we, first off, we have our live split pulled up here. In order to get split set up for Shipwrecked 64, you need to right-click, edit splits, and then we're going to put in our game category, or game name here, as Shipwrecked 64, and it should pop up. You want to select it from the drop-down list here. Run category, you're going to click True Ending. And then you're going to go to this auto splitter here, because this category is timed with in-game time. This is remove some of the loads, keeps everything consistent between all the different players. So to get everything set up correctly here, what you're going to do is you're going to click Settings. So now you have the settings here for your auto splitter. Let me see if I can get that pulled up here. So once we have these settings pulled up here, we don't really need the auto splitter set up. What we need specifically is we need to uncheck the reset and the split and make sure that only true ending is checked here. And then you want to click OK. And what that's going to do is that is going to make sure that your load remove timer is on, but it's not set up to automatically split for you and not set to reset runs for you. And last but not least, we need to add the in-game timer to our splits layouts so you can see the in-game timer on the splits. So you're going to right-click your live split. First off, just make sure that you've got the global hotkeys on if you're new to speedrunning. And then you're going to click Edit Layout, and that's going to pop up right here. You're only going to have these three things: title, splits, timer. Now, if we go to layout settings, you can see here that the timer option is set to current timing method. So that's going to be our real time. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the plus button right here, timer, and we're just going to click regular timer. So now we've got a second timer that displays right next to the first timer, right over here. It's cut off the screen, but you see what I mean. We're going to click layout settings. I'm just going to drag this over here again. And now you see we have a second timer option set up right to the right. You're going to click that. We're going to change our timing method to game time, as you can see right here. And we're also going to override the settings, so that way this is a different color. So I'm just going to choose red for the sake of this demonstration. And we're going to click OK. And now, if you can see here, we've got our in-game timer in red here and our regular timer in white. So whenever we start the timer, the in-game timer will stop at certain spots based on what's already built into live split. So that's basically it for getting started. Doing glitchless runs, no major glitches, whatever you want to call it. If you have any questions about the competition, or if you're watching this later just to try and figure out the general gist of how to do a glitchless run, feel free to join the Shipwrecked Speedrunning Discord that's linked below in the description, and also check out the speedrun.com page and look at the latest world record if you really want like a grasp of like how they do things. Now that you've seen a lot of these glitches that are done, and you can see how to do them, it may give you a bit of an understanding on what to do. Anyways, this contest runs from right now to the 16th of February at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please get in there, get running, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye!